come to order. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare recess of the subcommittee at any time. Under Committee Rule 4F, any oral opening statements at hearings are limited to the chairman and the ranking minority member. I ask unanimous consent that the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Higgins, be allowed to participate in today's hearing. The gentlewoman from Florida, Ms. Castor, be allowed to participate in today's hearing. And the gentleman from California, Mr. Levin, be allowed to participate in today's hearing. Without objection, so ordered. I now recognize myself for an opening statement. I'd like to begin by thanking our witnesses for being here to discuss this important topic. Today we find ourselves at a critical juncture in America's energy future. Offshore oil and gas production has long been a pillar of our national energy security, supporting jobs, revenues, conservation, and economic growth. Yet recent trends paint a troubling picture. In early 2023, Gulf of America production stood at 1.9 million barrels per day. But by November of 2024, it had dropped to 1.6 barrels per day, the lowest level in years. This is the result of misguided policies and regulatory uncertainty from the last 4 years that has threatened the future of American energy dominance. The Biden administration's 2024 through 2029 leasing program slashed planned lease sales from an average of 24 in past programs put forth by both Republican and Democrat administrations, some of which included 40 or more sales, to just 3 in the Gulf of America and none in Alaska. Notably, the Biden administration's decision to offer 0 lease sales in Alaska jeopardizes the long-term economic stability and energy security of Alaskan citizens who rely on the Cook Inlet gas to heat their homes, where existing gas supply is projected to run out by 2027 without new development. This travesty wasn't enough for the Biden administration. In fact, in his final days in office, President Biden locked up 625 million acres, offshore acres from future leasing, sending a chilling message to long-term investors. To make matters worse, persistent delays under NEPA, ESA, and MMPA have cast a shadow over the future of offshore development. These regulatory obstacles discourage the capital investment that is essential for sustained production growth. Without immediate reforms, the long-term viability of offshore energy development is at a serious risk. The consequences are dire. COMESA revenues, which fund coastal restoration, hurricane protection, and infrastructure, have plunged from $9.6 billion in fiscal year 2022 to $5.3 billion in fiscal year 2024. Meanwhile, special interest environmental groups have utilized lawfare to vacate the biological opinion, or BIOP, in the Gulf. The BIOP vacatur, set for May 2025, will give these special interest groups the ability to endlessly challenge permits and projects in the Gulf. Their goal is clear: to create regulatory conditions so untenable that Gulf leasing and production collapses entirely. This would be a major win for radical environmental extremists, one that could drive up energy costs, force layoffs of thousands of workers, and threaten countless families' livelihoods, all for the sake of a single whale species with limited documented presence. States like Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, and Mississippi are being shortchanged, putting critical projects at risk. The American people deserve better. Offshore oil and gas jobs, which pay 29% higher than the national average, are at stake. Families in energy-producing communities are feeling the pain of lost job opportunities and lower wages, while consumers face rising prices. Thankfully, the radical left-wing and energy policies of the Biden administration have come to an end as the American public saw through the lies. They voted for energy dominance, not bureaucratic red tape, and that's exactly what we're going to restore. This subcommittee will hold BOEM and NIMFS and others accountable. We will push for more lease sales, faster permitting, and a return to American energy leadership. It's time to bring common sense back to energy policy and deliver security and prosperity to American workers and families. States and local residents depend on the revenue, the jobs, and affordable, clean, sustainable energy generated by offshore development to sustain their economies and their communities. I again want to thank the witnesses for joining us today, and I look forward to hearing your testimony. I now yield to my colleague, Representative Ansari, the ranking member, for her